Hello, and welcome to Way of the Holy Family. Thank you for joining us as we walk in perpetual hope, drawing ever closer to Jesus through life's struggles and triumphs, filled by the Eucharist, and strengthened by community. Way of the Holy Family is here to bring light, encouragement, and a bit of childish fun for all families seeking holiness. Hello, everyone, and welcome back as we talk about the stunned disciples. Again, in these next couple of episodes, including the last, will be just kind of a story time and Bible study, talking about the disciples and how they expose their humanness, their flaws, their shortcomings, their misunderstandings, and how Christ works with them and works with us. Previously, I spoke on Mark 8:14 through 21, after Christ had fed the 5,000 and the 4,000. So his disciples had seen the multiplication of food, but once they got into the boat, they realized they had one loaf of bread and they feared they didn't have enough. Even though they were in the boat with Christ, God of the universe. And as a loving God, Jesus broke it down with them, saying what had happened, what did we have, and what did I do, and what was the result of that. He worked through it with them. And the point of the episode was that Christ works with us, with our shortcomings and with our misunderstandings, even our distrust. He wants us to trust him fully, and he pursues us again and again and again. Now, today, I'm going to talk a little bit about Peter. No, it's not going to be the story on how he denied Jesus 3 times and Jesus proved him right on his prophecy, but I'm going to talk about the transfiguration in the Gospel of Matthew in chapter 17. So, without further ado, I'm going to read verses 1 through 8. After 6 days, Jesus took Peter, James, and John, his brother, and led them up a high mountain by themselves, and he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became white as light, and behold, Moses and Elijah appeared to them, conversing with him. Then Peter said to Jesus in reply, "Lord, it is good that we are here. If you wish, I will make 3 tents here, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." While he was still speaking, behold, a bright cloud cast a shadow over them. Then from the cloud came a voice that said, "This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him." When the disciples heard this, they fell prostrate, and they were very much afraid. But Jesus came and touched them, saying, "Rise and do not be afraid." And when the disciples raised their eyes, they saw no one else but Jesus alone. Now, the way that I read this passage is very much how one sits down and just reads through it, or how you hear it at church as the lector speaks into the microphone. But if you sit down and really go through it, at least for me, it feels more like a comical play. Jesus was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, his clothes became dazzling white, and behold, Moses and Elijah appeared before them, conversing with him. I imagine Jesus casually conversing with Moses and Elijah. But can you imagine Peter, James, and John just dumbfounded off to the side? Peter, I feel like, went into hospitality mode, like he's going to bring out the tea and the crumpets, and he said, "Lord, it is good that we are here. If you wish, I will make 3 tents here, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." I mean, how considerate is Peter? What else do you say in such a glorious moment? In fact, I think it illustrates Peter's love for God and his readiness to savor the moment, to hold in such high regard that of what Jesus was revealing to him. But then God continued to show his glory and blow the expectation of the disciples out of the water, hearing a voice from the cloud saying, "This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him." They were very much afraid and they were terribly overwhelmed. It is so easy in moments where the Lord has brought something to you or somebody has revealed something to you, and your first response is not what you wanted, or it was unmatched to the curriculum, revealing a lack of proficiency. Your vulnerability is filleted open, even in the approach of humility. We have to remember, though, just how caring and loving our God is, and to be aware that there are limitations in our humanity. He loves us so much that He will break through our expectations, stretch us, and reveal things to us that we couldn't even possibly comprehend. Yes, it can scare us sometimes, but He also equips us and comforts us. Jesus consoled them, saying, "Rise and do not be afraid." Do not be afraid. This theme is laced throughout the Bible in its entirety. The Almighty knows how fragile we can be. He's drawing us to Himself. We were separated at the fall from Him, and now we are journeying back to Him. Again, I just want to state this one more time, that in our humanity and our shortcomings in our reactions, we're not dumb. Peter wasn't dumb. We're just limited in our humanity as we journey back to Christ. I think we need to remember, too, that we don't have to understand everything. There's no need for it. In the short time that Jesus worked with His disciples, He slowly but surely revealed things to them, even after His resurrection. Can you imagine? Through the entire Passion, Peter had denied Christ, then Christ was beaten, suffered, then died on the cross. All His disciples ran away, except for John. And once He was in the tomb, the disciples hid in that upper room. Then Christ revealed Himself in breaking of the bread, also washing away Thomas's doubts, etc., etc., etc. You know, at this point, they have gone through a lot. But even so, for their future mission, Christ only told them so much. And in the foretelling of the Holy Spirit, He stated, "I have so much more to share with you, but you cannot handle it now." Amazing. They had gone through several years of mission training with Him, gone through the Passion, saw His resurrection, and yet they still had to take bite-sized pieces of God's information. He knows we can't handle everything at once, just one little step at a time. So be patient with yourself, especially in the time of waiting. We can be so caught up with, God, when is this going to happen? God, why is this happening? Or God, how is this going to happen? But honestly, in His plan, God's time is everything. Peace, friends. Thank you for joining us today. Check back every Tuesday through Thursday as we drop new episodes and news. Feel free to follow, or if you would like to know more information about Way of the Holy Family, please click the link below to our website, wayoftheholyfamily.com.